Alright, so I'm back. It's been a while since I've really put any effort into the camper. I was pretty disappointed the last time I videoed anything, and that was me pulling the motor out. I was excited about that part, but the fact that the transmission bell housing is broken, it's kind of got me disappointed, so I kind of just stopped working on it. I did in fact get the motor out, and I put it into the back of a pickup truck that I had to have serviced, and I took it out to my guy out in the country, and he said he's going to rebuild it for me, and he also told me to bring the transmission out there and he can see what he can do with it. May wind up just having to buy a transmission and getting it rebuilt, which I'm okay with that. It would just be nice just to not have to, but I probably will. I'll show you the reason why. This is part of the bell housing. As I pulled the bolts out, they just fell out. So it's broken pretty good. Not just cracked, it's broken. So as you can see, the bell housing is not just cracked, it's actually broken. Probably be better to replace that. But either way, it's got to come out. So right now I've got it, there's 3 bolts that hold it in, and those are out, and I've got it tied off to my chain hoist here. I've also got some jacks under it to keep it stable, and I'm going to start lifting it out. It's already loose, and whenever it comes out, I'm going to start seeing what all still connected to it, so I can unhook that as we go. Let's see what happens. Alright, so there's the final drive. What I've kind of figured out is that from this point forward is the final drive, and it actually disconnects from the transmission, from what I can tell. Again, I'm no professional. Here's all the transmission back here, back up in here, and the torque converter and the bell housing right there. So you can see really good that it's cracked here, and back there is where it's broken well, and on the side over there. But I don't want to dwell on that for the rest of my life, so I will see what we're going to happen whenever I pull it up. So there were only 3 bolts on it, so they're loose, and the transmission's swinging pretty good. But before I start pulling it up, I'm going to go up under it and see what cables are still connected to it before I start tearing up more stuff. So I have a jack holding it up, and the chain hoist is holding it up. So you can kind of see where the tension is, and whenever I start pulling it, I want to make sure that, I'm sure eventually it's going to sling down, and I want to make sure that the hoses or cables or whatever connected to it don't tear up in that process. So let's see what's up under there. So it's been like 30 seconds, and I totally wasn't videoing when I had a nice disaster happen. I was trying to move the transmission just a little bit, and it fell, but it's still on the chain hoist, so I'm good. So that's what it looks like when it's sideways or upside down, or however you want to call it. So we'll work on getting it up. There's a couple of connections on there I need to break, but I think I can get that done. Well, there was only one little piece that I could find. It looked like it was hooked up to the shifter, but it wasn't the shifter. I don't know exactly what it was, but it's unhooked now, and I think it's going to be okay. Looked like I didn't damage that, for whatever it's worth. So now I'm going to pull the rest of the transmission up and see. Maybe there's some hidden things that I couldn't see from down below, but anyway, it's hanging right there. Alright, so there's a couple pieces right there that I need to unhook before I continue to pull it up. So it's a cool, rainy November after Thanksgiving Day down here in Mississippi, and I'm back to the transmission. I was out here yesterday, and that's when I had that footage for me getting it out. Well, as you can see, that now it's all the way out. Nothing hanging on. It's just hanging on by a chain. So today my plan is to get it down the ramp like I got the motor. Hopefully, if you saw the other video, a little less traumatic, and maybe it'll come down a little bit smoother. Probably not, but it's just the way it is. So without further ado, I'll get to working on that. So how I plan on doing that is using the piano dolly to set the transmission on, and I have a ramp right here. It's a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, 2 foot wide, 8 foot long. My plan is to let it slide down the ramp and attach the chain hoist, and when it gets down to the bottom, it'll be out. Last time the engine slammed the wall over there, but nobody was hurt in the process, so it's all good. It's at the shop now, so see what happens here. I wish I'd have known that came out so easily a long time ago. Alright, so right now I'm having a pretty significant problem with my A-frame is being pulled, and it sounds like it's going to cause me problems. This thing will not stop dripping. I want to sit here and hold this. There it comes. If it goes too fast, which it's trying to come too fast. Look at this. See what happens. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. So there it is right there. Slid it right down the ramp. Probably made easier by the fact that I had fluid all over the place. So now we can really see where I've broken the bell housing. Here, here, and here, and one more down the bottom. So probably just gonna have to get a new transmission. But I don't have to get a new final drive. You can use parts off this one, I'm sure. But it had to come out, so there it is.